Hello, here is my first crochet video. I'm taking it right back to basics, starting from the very beginning. So my first lesson is about making the foundation chain. Here is the foundation chain that I've just quickly made to show you. And this is the basis of everything pretty much that you will make with crochet. It doesn't matter if you're working in the round, like this one. This has got a foundation chain right in the middle here, and where you put the stitches are right into the middle of the circle that you make. So this is called in the round crochet, whereas this one is made in rows. And so you'll see as you get going, you'll see different patterns which will tell you whether it's in the round or in rows. But the main thing to know is that both of these start with a foundation chain, like this one. Now, I am going to show you how to do that with this chunky yarn. It's lovely and thick, so you'll be able to see the stitches really well. And I have got a 5.5mm crochet hook for that. And of course, what yarn you choose depends on what hook you choose as well. So this is some really thin crochet thread, for example, which is really fine, used to making really fine lace. And you would probably use something like this 2mm hook, whereas we've got some t-shirt yarn here, which you would use a really chunky hook with. That's some t-shirt yarn. Most probably the yarn you've got at home or you're most likely to purchase is some acrylic yarn like this. This is DK acrylic yarn, and it's brilliant because it comes in all sorts of colours. Like these ones, they're really bright and vibrant. So in order to do this and this one, this is the same yarn, I used a 3.5 hook. But you could go to 4 or 4.5 quite easily. And the bigger you go, the easier you're going to be able to see your stitches. So to start off with, it might be a good idea to have a bigger hook so that you can see what you're doing a bit better. So, but for this tutorial, I am going to show you with this chunky yarn. So to start off, what you need to do is a slip knot, and how you do that is you make a loop. So I've crossed over the yarn there, and then what I want you to do is to fold that over so that you can see the yarn underneath it, like it's gone underneath the loop. Then I take my hook and I hook that bit there and pull it out like that, and that will make your slip knot. Okay, so the next thing to know is how to hold it. Now, a lot of the way you hold your hook is a real personal matter. I hold mine a bit like a pencil, so I hold it like that, but other people might hold it like a knife, like that. You've got to find what's comfortable for you. I hold mine like this. And then the other thing that's partly, it's going to be you getting used to how you do it, move that out of the way so you can see, is how you hold the yarn in your left hand. So what I do is I loop it round my little finger there, and I bring it over the top of my other 3 fingers. What I find that does is it gives me a little bit of tension when I'm making the stitches, and if you can see as I'm pulling on it, it comes round my little finger, and that just sort of gives it a bit of an anchor so it doesn't slip too fast and you're not getting out of control, but it's not stopping completely. So that's how I find it's best for me to hold it. And then I've got the yarn over my forefinger like that. So I've got this bit here to work with. Okay, so keeping it nice and loose, you don't want that loop to be pulled too tightly. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring that yarn over the front like that. I'll show you that again. So you're going round the back of your hook to the front, and in various patterns you will see them call that yarn over. So then I'm going to pull that. Now you can see it looks like I've got 2 loops on the hook now. Okay, so I'm yarn over, catching hold of that first one and bringing it through the loop that I've made. So that's my first chain. And I'm going to do that again. So I'm going to use yarn over and pull it through. 2 chains, yarn over, pull it through. Okay, yarn over, pull it through. And depending on what you're making, it will tell you in any pattern how many of these chains that you should be making in the first place. So if we look back at our granny square, in here is 6 chains, and they've been joined together to make a loop, and then the stitches are stitched into the middle of that loop. This rows that I've made are 10 stitches along, and that's kept either way. So whatever your pattern says will tell you how many chains you need. If we have a look at the chain that I made before, I'll show you how they look and how you can count them. Each chain looks a little bit like a V. So we've got one there, another one there, another one there. So this one's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and that's where I fastened it off. So that's how the front of the chain looks. It's quite got a bit of a stretch to it. On the back, some crocheters like to sew their stitches into the back loops of a chain. So there's one, and it looks very different on the back. So you've got these little bumps instead of the V's that are on the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, you can see, and all the way down. So some crocheters, some patterns might tell you to crochet into the back loop. That's what that means there. I personally like to go in right in the center of a V when I'm stitching into mine. But what I'd like you to do now is practice that. It's really, really important. Like I say, it's the stitch that starts everything off. So practice making a chain. Get yourself comfortable with how you feel holding the hook. Like I say, I like to hold it like a pen so that it's resting, the end of the hook is resting right there. Different hooks have different handles. These are my favourite. These are Knit Pro hooks. I just find them really comfortable. They're quite light, quite hard wearing. But get used to how you hold that, and get used to how you hold your yarn. So like I say, I anchor mine around my finger and bring it across my 3 fingers like that. And then I'll show you a few more chains before I finish up. So it's hooking behind, bring the yarn over from back to front and pull through. Round and pull through. Around and pull through. Okay, so once you've mastered that, my next video is going to be how to start the crochet stitches. Okay, good luck.